Oh, I almost pressed start streaming instead. That wouldn't have been good.
That Twitch noti would have hit. So, episode 11?
Yeah,
11.
the penultimate episode.
The start of the two-parter, which will kick off the season finale. Amazing Human Feats? I'm not really too sure. This was more of your special, I guess.
Yeah,
that makes
something
sense.
I found interesting. Yeah. So I thought we could, talk about it a little bit.
Over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are a lot of modern day superheroes. It's not something of a lot of at least with something like this, it usually happened in the past, at least from my experience or my knowledge.
Yeah.
But this is a modern day thing.
There are some crazy people out there that have some superhuman abilities. I truly like to believe.
Real superheroes. It's actually kind of cool. We went over one before we started, which was
echolocation. Also known as the real life Batman, but I don't really understand where the Batman comes from. Probably because Bat's an echolocation, but so he developed retinoblastoma, which is an eye cancer. So he's completely blind, and so he has had to adapt to life without vision. However, he didn't want it to affect his life in any way, and so he uses echolocation to navigate the world, and I think that is so smart. That is evolution at its finest. His senses in his sight is, not as good, and so his hearing is probably heightened as a result of that. And his sense
once
of touch.
Lose a sense.
Exactly. And so, the way he does it is he will make clicking noises with his tongue and feel for the sound waves vibrating off. And if he can feel the sound waves on a surface nearby, then he knows there's an object in front of him, etc., etc. Like this guy, I mean, he rides a bike in the street on the road where there are cars. He could literally get dunked by a car, but he doesn't. He maneuvers the world.
Well, I mean, I would hope that it would be more his fault. It would be more his fault if he were to get dunked.
Yeah, because he can't see.
I wouldn't hope it was the driver, you know what I mean? But
no,
it makes sense because if you ever been in a tight surface, a dense area, and you you flick your fingers, it's nothing you can tell the area you're in. So I mean that makes sense in a way. Obviously, I wouldn't assume it's easy, but like we were just talking about, once you lose a sense, you pick up another one becomes heightened or more attuned.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's able to just do away, I mean, if I were to lose my sense of I think the biggest thing for me about the virus, I'm not going to name it, but was that it took away your sense of smell and taste, which I felt would be damning. I was I felt they were what's the purpose? You know what I mean? I mean, you can still see, but the fact that he was able to lose his sight and it would drive me insane personally. So the fact he was able to mentally overcome that and proceed it is insane.
Well, not just that, but he has excelled in his environment. Obviously, most people that are, that suffer with eyesight problems usually have a cane or a service dog to help them, right? He uses his tongue. 55.
55? Yeah. Wow. You would think it would take I mean, I'm sure it did take years, maybe. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how.
It would probably
I don't know
years.
how long he's actually been
blind.
Yeah, and using echolocation. I think it's been quite a while.
Right.
He registered some non-profit organizations in 2000 to facilitate helping people with forms of blindness.
It's amazing though. That was 22 years ago almost.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, it's really not easy. So the fact that he's able to build these 3D images within his head, of the objects around him, and then can visualize the vibrations to gauge distance. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of a lot of mental power as well as just
I would assume
using your sight, or not your sight, your sense of sound.
That almost reminds me though of like as a kid growing up in my house, I would like to walk around with my eyes closed and like I would like to walk around with my eyes closed and imagine where I was going. And more than likely, I would always end up shorter distance than I thought I was, or like on the highway or something. And we're like, I'm gonna close my eyes until we get to that stop, to that sign or whatever. And it feels like we've been past that sign. I open my eyes and we're like 200 foot away from it.
Yeah.
It's like what? It's like I felt like I had my eyes closed for so long, and it's like it's there now. It's like something like that. I'm sure it would.
My sense of direction, yeah, I mean, like my sense of direction is crappy. So if that happened to me, I'd be screwed.
Well, the skydiver who broke the sound barrier. I don't know too much about it.
Oh.
But I'm not even sure how that would work. I'm pretty sure we broke the sound barrier with a jet at one point, though. Right? The speed of sound with a jet.
But we can't hear those frequencies, so how would they have been able to tell if he's, like, skydiving that he broke the sound barrier?
Well, I mean, is there visual representation that you break the sound barrier?
Oh, maybe.
Like
Physics isn't my forte, so I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, he broke the sound barrier in space. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. So, I guess it was broadcasted through NASA's YouTube channel or whatever, but he broke 8 world records in like the matter of 3 hours skydiving from like 38,000 meters or something. So, yeah. They say when you skydive though, you like lose your sense of hearing for like a while, like your ears, like you know how it feels when your ears like clogged?
Pressure buildup. That's what it is.
Yeah. I couldn't stand that. Personally,
yeah.
I hate going to high mountains or high places. I'm not scared of heights, but going to like these high up places, hearing like having to pop my ears, which
it's the worst.
I know we used to live on a hill, right? And every time we would come off that hill, it's like for the first year at least, every time we go off the hill, it's like your ears would start to pop, and it's like
altitude change.
Yeah, please, let's go the other way, please, because there was an easier way off the hill that wouldn't result in that happening. But you know, we got used to it, and I mean, I think walking down that hill more and more helped with that because it wasn't always so sudden. Like once we started to walk down it and like spend more time adjusting to it, it was a lot better.
See, that's funny. You had it one way where you were too high that your ears were popping. I've had it the opposite way where I've been below sea level and so my ears have popped. So to kind of get from A and B here, we have a lot of underwater tunnels. So, for example, the occasions where I used to go visit my great nan, there is a big underwater tunnel. You can't see through it, obviously, but it's below sea level tunnel, and it gets you into the city. And because it has to go, I think, under a river or under, I don't know, it goes under something, and your ears pop like crazy every time you drive through it, and it's just the worst feeling because you're stuck in a car and then your ears are popping.
My anxiety wouldn't allow for me to do that. I mean, we went to Virginia Beach once, right? And to get to the specific place, you have to drive under a tunnel that goes literally under the Atlantic Ocean. And the anxiety I had when doing that was insane. I mean, maybe it's just me, but like they say that tunnel is like it's like it's been there for like thousands of years, like decades. Excuse me, it's been there for decades. So like, I don't trust old technology as much as I have, especially if you've seen what's happened in Florida recently with the architecture of a Miami hotel collapsing on itself. Yeah, very tragic situation, but like I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like with modern buildings, they sway, which I can understand. It's built into like some of them are actually meant to sway to like prevent it from causing structural damage, but I mean, I don't know, with older technology or older architecture and older designs, it's just something that I can honestly see failing more than often. So I couldn't see commuting under that tunnel every day when it has leaks already. And yeah, like I said, going under that tunnel at like 13, I sat there. It felt like the longest. I think it's called the Abraham Lincoln Tunnel, and it was the most petrifying thing. I think that's what like started claustrophobia, or me realizing I had like a small dose of claustrophobia. Just like, get me out, please, for the love of God.
I mean, underwater is a horrible place to be trapped anyway, because like, once that water comes, you're crushed and suffocated, and you're kind of screwed. So
any amount of water pressure is damning, unfortunately. I'm never able to get all of like the wrinkles out of my sheet for some reason. It bugs the shit out of me.
Gotta get
I don't know why.
an iron.
Probably.
I don't have.
I'm not gonna put it down on my bed. I don't have the patience.
Plus, like, you'll just get it all creased the next day after you've slept in it. So
exactly, like, who cares? I don't know. Maybe it's more of like a OCD thing for me, I guess. No, speaking of water though, we've mentioned this person. I'm not sure of their name exactly, but or maybe it's somebody different. As of recent, this guy, he where was it? I think it may have been New York, but like, there's been this guy, and he has jumped in. No, it's the Michigan Lake. This guy's jumped in the Michigan Lake every day for a year.
Wow.
For a year. And I mean, this is through snow, freezing water. He's went out and dug with a pickaxe at the ice to break it to hop in. And on the final day, he had like a whole bunch of people there, a band. There were thousands of people in attendance, and he jumped in for the final time off a ladder. And it was all over social media, all over the news. And it's crazy to think he spoke about how like he built up a tolerance to the colder water, I think, over the time in the winter doing it, because that was the tail end of his journey. That was like the last half end or whatever. Yeah. And yeah, I mean I don't know to the extreme level, because he's jumping in like sub level temperature water, but like,
see, there is a guy that can handle it to the extreme level. He does currently own 26 world records. Wow. He is crazy. It's a guy, he's from Amsterdam, and he can withstand superhuman coldness levels, basically. He tried to climb Everest in a pair of shorts. He got past he got past the death zone, but was forced to turn back because medical advisory, and deemed it, unsafe. But not by the temperature, by a foot injury.
Oh, really?
He has ran barefoot marathons in the snow. He's broken his own record for ice submersion 4 times. And
I mean, once you get used to something, you just keep going back and doing it, I imagine.
It's through meditation techniques.
Meditation?
Yep. So
what kind of meditation?
I don't know the specifics of what kind of medication, but probably very similar to those that do
medication.
No, meditation.
Okay.
And it's probably similar to the people that kind of do the free diving without the tanks and stuff, that could have to be able to hold their breath for a long time. So he does a bunch of meditation, and they did some studies of his brain and stuff like that while doing the meditation, and they found that when he is exposed to extreme cold temperatures, his brain releases opioids and cannabinoids into his body. Which,
opioids?
Yes, which inhibit him registering cold and pain. So basically, his own body's natural response is a stress relief. Basically, it overrides the stress response. It releases hormones, and stuff.
It
just doesn't affect him.
Huh.
The same way that we don't feel pain when we have adrenaline boosts, but yeah. Huh. And so he's able to, withstand these sub-zero temperatures.
So the way you describe it, it's like his fight or flight reaction, almost like his like.
Yeah, almost, but it's through meditation, so it's a lot easier to, I think, do consistently, because it's more of like a state of mind than a natural bodily response.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But it's crazy. It's crazy. He's like jumped in icy lakes. Yeah.
No, oh god. Imagine if, I mean, that's not easy. That wouldn't be easy to replicate with technology or anything. But imagine if how far I wonder how far that could like progress, if that makes sense. So like, I wonder if there's like a state where it's like a point where it's done, or like it can't progress any further, because obviously the way he's done it, he's like you said, he's broke his own records 4+ times. So it's like, is there a limit? Is there like a stop? I that's the kind of questions I would ask, at least. Like,
I just wonder, how cold can he really handle? Like, have we tested his full potential of how cold? Like, with a medical team standing by, because last thing you want is this guy to get hypothermia or something, or because like it's dangerous.
How hasn't the
organs could have just completely failed on him due to the cold temperatures? Because your enzymes, they don't work the same way that they're meant to if you're not at your optimum perfect body temperature. It's why if you have a high fever, a high body temperature, it's so fatal for humans if it gets too bad, because it just denatures your enzymes, and it kills your insides and all your molecules and stuff, and it's just not good. So how he's able to bypass that entire process, how he hasn't lost a foot.
Something. How hasn't he already endured hypothermia or something like that?
I know.
I mean, I wonder if he reached that limit, would he continue to? Because obviously, like, if it's something like a cold shower, breeze through that. But like, I wonder what like started that for him, like, because you start with I imagine it started somewhere. What kickstarted his journey? Why are you gonna laugh? Why?
I can tell you exactly why.
You're about to laugh at me.
I can tell you exactly why he started this entire journey.
Really?
So when he was 17, he was walking across a frozen canal in his home city. He felt the urge to jump in, so he did. That's all it was. He just felt like jumping in cold water, and then he was like, oh, don't feel it.
What?
Nice and warm. That's it. There's no big story to it. It's just he felt like jumping in, so he did.
I mean, why not, dude? I mean, hey, if you feel like you should do it, go for it. Change his life forever.
Exactly.
Now he holds how many world records? 26 or something?
Yep.
Like, that's insane. The life-changing moments.
He's not young either, this guy.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
I think he's, I don't think he's, I think he might be younger than the echolocation guy. Never mind, he is 62.
Wow.
Yep. Wow.
He shares, actually, no, I lied. Actually, no, yeah, I did lie.
Standing for 2 hours, almost 2 hours in a full crate of ice cubes. That's one of his world records.
I could just feel, like, the shivers coming on. Please no. And I think I'm doing something when I can withstand, like, the cold on my glove for, like, or the snow on my glove for, like, 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, when I'm thinking, oh, it's like, I mean, the closest I would have ever come to an experience like that is in year 7, so I think it would have been, like, 7th grade for you guys, or 8th grade. And, it was snowing for, like, one of the rare occasions ever in the UK. And I usually can handle cold weather pretty well. It takes a lot for me to feel quite cold. So I took my jumper off and my shoes and my socks, and I was stood in the snow in a t-shirt and trousers at school. Because I just thought, why not? You know?
Why not?
I just...
Why not?
It was also me wanting to show off in front of my mates the fact that I'm not that bothered by cold weather. But it also means that when it's hot, I really just can't hack it. Like, my body is fine one way, screwed another.
I sent you a picture the other day. It was like 32 degrees here Celsius, which is like 83 Fahrenheit here, which...
It's rare it gets that hot here. Can I just reiterate?
We've had these discussions quite often, and let's just say I was shocked by how cold they think, like how warm it is over there and how hot they think it actually is. When compared to over here, we reached, where I live specifically in Virginia, we've seen temperatures of 110 that one summer. So, which to Celsius, I'm not really too sure what we convert to.
I think it's in the 40s.
When she was explaining to me that like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, like 67 or 63 degrees Fahrenheit was like very hot over there, it just kind of shocked me a little bit, because over here that's like a fall day. Like 60 degrees is like a fall day. Like it's starting to get cold. Like if it's 60 out here, we're wearing like usually jeans and like a long shirt. But no, maybe it's different because of where we're at in the world. Like maybe, but
well, I mean, our weather is a lot more. It's not unpredictable. It's just shit. Our weather isn't unpredictable because you can predict that it will just mostly rain and be pretty much dead on. Yeah, we just have very gloomy weather because of where we're located. We're a small island in the middle of the sea, surrounded by a lot of tropical places with a lot harsher weather than us. On either end of the spectrum, surrounded by countries that get it a lot colder and countries that get it a lot hotter. And plus we get a lot of our weather storms come over from like you guys and stuff like that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, usually if it's like springtime, it will be, I want to say, between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
I've come to understand, like, we learned about the differences between Fahrenheit and Celsius. We had to early on, but again, I don't remember any of that. Like, what was
about
it?
50 degrees
Geometry
Fahrenheit.
and 65?
50.
50, okay.
Is like starting temp for springtime.
No, I will say, though, that being around you has helped me understand Celsius a lot more than what school has taught me, to be honest, because it's not something I kept with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Fahrenheit is a really complex form of measurement for temperature, I've found, because it doesn't start at 0. Or at least your 0 isn't our 0, which is really strange. Yeah. Because your 0 is sub-0 for us.
I think that's what kind of threw me off at it about Celsius and Fahrenheit, the different measurements at first, because
don't go near Kelvin then.
Yeah. Oh God, it bugged the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I mean it's weird how we all have these different like measuring systems, but then we don't ever get taught about each other's.
See, we were taught about your measurement, like the Celsius measurement, because it was still commonly used a lot of places. At the time, at least, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm actually pretty sure it's like more of the basic around the world to like measure in Celsius. I think we're the only ones to measure in Fahrenheit. So, yeah, I don't think ours is that important.
I don't think I was ever taught Fahrenheit in school.
Which would make sense. I think if I were like, I don't plan to live in the US for like my entire life, so I think it would be worth me sitting down, learning the different measurement standards and the different temperatures, just in case.
If you ever want to come to the UK, I can give you some cities to avoid and to and some good spots to go to. Because if you ask another Brit, they'll probably try to send you to the shitholes on purpose. Like we're like that. If we it's all on TikTok, like these memes about telling Americans nice places in England to visit, and it's actually the worst shitholes ever. Like the worst parts of England where you probably will walk away with a stab wound. Hold on.
Yeah, we got a stab wound. I mean,
yeah, you guys have gun violence. We get knife violence.
See,
the gangs have got to hurt each other some way.
Yeah. So I had heard of knives being more commonly used, I guess, or more a common thing than gun violence over there. So, there was always the joke, you go to the UK, you're gonna get shanked or whatever. It's like, well, dear God.
Okay, I have a question to ask you, and you can answer. You don't have to answer it if you're not comfortable, obviously, depending on what the answer is. But have you ever had an experience in school with a gun?
No, because I was homeschooled.
What about middle school? I mean, well, you shouldn't be happening in any sort of school, but middle school would be like, no.
I didn't go to public school at all.
Oh, okay.
Right. So actually,
do you know anyone?
Unfortunately,
though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's becoming more of a
common,
typical thing. Yeah, a common thing.
Yeah.
Our high school had a. I don't know if I can really say that. It was a. I'm gonna throw up an emoji on my hand right here. Threat, and they said that he sent it through the school computers that he had guns, and the school was put on lockdown. Our whole school was like, in the aftermath of, I think, for 2 weeks, it was just like things changed so much. Especially like it was all over the news. Our county had never got that much recognition before, and it's sad it was getting the recnicognition that it was for that reason. Because where I live is it's a very historical town. It's probably one of the, not oldest, but like, it has a lot of like not culture. In itself, it's very like, it held one of like the first railroads, I believe. Mm-hmm. Like the railroad's been around for hundreds of years, and we're so devoted to our art. It's sad that that's what our town was related to after that. And I mean, obviously where I grew up, I felt like that was like the main place of the state. Obviously it isn't. So as I go on like experience, especially on TikTok, because for some reason TikTok puts me on the side where like everybody lives in Virginia, and it's like my like county is like renowned as something horrible. Not really, but no. Our school is for main purpose of that. We've had very many scandals in our school, so it's unfortunate. But everything that is said about American schools is mostly true. I've never been to them, but I can tell you from the perspective of like the 3 counties I live in the middle of, mm-hmm. that all of those schools have at least one of those experiences that are more generally talked about.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, it's weird to sometimes I do think we've had like we've had the same childhood almost, but just in different countries, because I too went to school. I lived in a town that pretty much nobody, even in the UK, has even heard of. Not many people go to. If they go to, I often ask them why, because it's just a dump. And our school was also broadcast on the national news, but not for a good reason. So a kid, I was in year 10 or 10th grade. I was nearing the end of secondary school, and it was like a Thursday lunchtime, and all of a sudden we all get called into lockdown, and it was because a kid in my year, I knew both of the kids involved. I had classes with one of the kids. The other one, really? Like, we had mutual friends, yeah. He took a steak knife, allegedly, I don't know the whole story, and I'm not going to name names because he was a minor at the time, but he took a steak knife from our cooking department, and this part is true. He slashed his nipple in half. He tried to stab him, but he slashed his nipple in half over marijuana.
Huh.
They were 15.
No, they were 15 smoking and going after each other with weapons over drugs.
But they were chavs. Chavs here is like a slang abbreviation for council house and violent. So you're like, so if you live in a council house, you're basically kind of like expected to be really, it's hard to say.
Proper?
Yeah, you're not well spoken, you're not very educated, you're not you don't earn a lot, you live pretty much off the government, you're in like low, so kind of like the
lower class over here.
Low class, like social benefit housing, stuff like that, which, like, you know, it's a slang term. Like, people use it now to just describe people that are trying to act hard and all, like, wearing tracksuits everywhere, and like I'll see kids.
They're trying to be that guy.
Yeah, like, I'll see kids in the street with their perms on their bikes doing wheelies in the middle of the road while there's cars coming, and I'll just be like, fucking chav. They always blast shit music out their speakers too while they're riding, and you just want to grab it and smash the speaker. Shut up.
What the? It's kind of to the contrary of that. We have Chad. I don't know if you would. We have Chads over here. Yeah.
Frat guys.
Usually. No, it's more or less directed at the jocks now. I think the Chad image is. It's like those wannabe hype beasts. Daddy's money kind of thing. I mean,
I thought it used to be frat boys. Fraternal
that would also make sense because of how our college frats work. But no, yeah, it's the people I would not get along with very greatly, I don't think. That makes sense.
Understandable. This really bad pressure headache behind my eye. So if I'm, like, closing my eye or I'm rubbing above this eye, it's just because it hurts. I get them when I have either eye strain from not wearing glasses, which is probably what it is, or dehydration, which equally could be that.
You have water, I could imagine. No, I remember, I think it was either my aunt or somebody maybe. They had kidney stones, and I remember not really understanding it as a kid, but now that I'm older, like, understanding is like, let's just pass on that. Maybe soda isn't such a valuable thing.
It's not a valuable source of hydration. People really don't seem to realize, like, they think, oh, there's water in these drinks, so it'll be fine. But it's not the same thing. It's not. Don't substitute drinks for water. Always drink water. Find a way. Even if you don't like it, you know? Because I understand, like, it's not the most interesting drink out there, like...
Right. I was one of those kids, like, why would I drink water? It tastes like I hated the taste of water.
Yeah.
Which...
I don't understand that, because it doesn't have a taste.
Exactly. I don't understand it myself either.
Or is that the fact that the thing you don't like is the fact that it doesn't have a taste?
I mean, I drink, like, 4 water bottles a day now, so, like... I don't understand what I didn't like. Water itself, I guess, has like a different. Maybe it's because I drank that fucking awful purified bottled water from the store that sits out in the water or sun for like 8 hours.
All water does taste different, to be fair, because tap water tastes very different to bottled water, and each bottled water is kind of different.
Yeah, the thing about water over here, I don't know if you've heard of Dasani water.
We don't have it here, but I've not heard good things about Dasani water.
It's awful. So in that sense, I understand water having a taste. Like,
yeah,
like where we used to live, our water was filtered.
Yeah.
So, like it came directly like clean. We didn't have to run a tap. But like where we're at now, there's like more iron in the water. So if we wanted to drink straight from the tap, we would have to in turn use a filter on top of our sink, which I don't think is a bad idea to do anyway, filtered or not.
Oh, like one of the filter jugs?
No. Just like no. Like it's like something you click onto your sink, and it's like it filters the water through, just like removing any like harmful bacteria or like anything that shouldn't be in your water, which again should be used in regardless, because you put that water in your food, or you use it to cook, you use it to drink, you use it to clean, so like it would make sense in my opinion.
Yeah. See, here, I mean, for the most part, like, I've always drank tap water without a filter on it. But yeah, I drink tap water all the time. You said not a huge fan of water in your youth. I was, and still am, to be honest, the complete opposite. It was just about the only thing that you could get me to drink. I don't like milk, because I think it tastes disgusting. I've never really been into like sodas or fizzy drinks. The carbonation bothers me if I'm honest. It's not a taste thing. It's
My
the
sister's
carbonation.
the same way.
It hurts. Because I don't drink.
It hurts?
Yeah, so I don't drink carbonated drinks all that often, or at least I didn't before I got into caffeine, and we'll get into that. But so I rarely drank them. So like the carbonation, the bubbles, like sometimes it would travel up through my nose and it would burn, or like
that instance,
or just the like irritation on my throat from the carbonation. I didn't vibe with it, so it would be pointless me ever getting like a can of Coke because I would never finish it.
That's understandable, I guess. I mean, my dad was like, he drank a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper every day, which very bad. Not that he'll ever see this, but in hindsight, that was awful.
Yeah. Not good for your teeth.
No, he has false teeth all over.
Oh.
So, I mean, not to be fair, his teeth were naturally bad, unfortunately, or genetically it was handed down that they were going to be bad, which I have to deal with. But I guess having soda around me, like, I would always drink soda, right? My dad had me try a Dr. Pepper when I was like 5, I think, and I would get a soda every time we go out to eat or something, which was like very seldom, but very like maybe 2 or 3 times a month or something like that. So like I was good with it, and then my sister, like, we got her to try Dr. Pepper when she was like 7 because she would never drink soda, and we never really understood why. She was very picky, and she said the carbonation hurt. I never understood it. I'm like, how the hell does it hurt? Like,
if you're not used to it, it hurts. It's so irritating.
That's understandable. For some, like, usually when you drink something like a soda, take a sip of soda, I usually burp, which it's gonna be gross, but I can, no matter what I'm drinking, water, Red Bull, soda, anything, I'll always burp.
Me too. I'm a burper.
I don't know. After every sip, I could sit here and sip this bottle of water down one sip by one, and literally after every sip, I would burp. If I don't drink it in big gulps, if I drink it in small portions, it's probably going to mess with my digestive system. Like, I'll be not bloated, but like, I feel like I want to puke, if that makes sense.
Wait, so you take big gulps, you never drink small gulps?
Yep.
Damn.
Unfortunately, because if I did, it would in turn mess with me, I guess.
Oh. See, there are some...
That's with everything.
There are some people, though, that, like, never drink... Like, they'll never take a drink with them. They'll just drink it all in one go. So, like, they literally will, I don't know, get a glass of water, but then they'll chug that glass, and then, boom. Instead of, like, sipping a bit of it and taking it with you, or just taking it with you and drinking it as you go.
I mean, I guess it depends, really. Like, if I were going to go shopping, and it was, like... I mean, I don't really know. See, if I had a cup, like a McDonald's cup, I'd take that with me.
Yeah.
But, like, if I were going to, like, I don't know, do work or something and I had a bottle of water, I'd probably take one big chug before, in between, and then after, if that makes sense.
I'm just on about if you're chilling in your house. Do you guys not have, like, glasses that you just fill up with...
I mean, we have cups, but, like, we never just go to the sink and fill them up with water. It's always usually bottled water or juice.
What an interesting concept. I rarely drink bottled water. Bottled water only comes to me if I, like, buy it, or I guess it comes with food.
Our grocery store has, like, 24, 36 packs of just this style of bottled water.
Yeah, see, I don't buy bulk packs like that. Like, it will be, the odd occasion will be, like, if I'm out and I need to buy a bottle of water because I don't have a drink with me. But, like, if I'm in my house, for example, I rarely use this one because it's kind of, like, more a display than anything. But this, for example, is my PlayStation
trophy.
Yep, my PlayStation trophy gauntlet. Or, no, not a gauntlet.
No.
Something else. There's a word for it and I can't remember. Yeah, but there's a specific word. Chalice.
PlayStation.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of
PlayStation chalice. And yeah, so I'll just, like, go to the sink and fill it up with water and then just, like... Or, like, a fruit juice or something, or cordial,
I mean, in that
squash.
sense, that, like, we had Kool-Aid growing up, and we'd always pour that into cups and then get some ice or whatever. That makes sense. But with water, we never did it because, again, like, maybe it was just my parents not trusting the water source, but, like, it's usually we always have, like, the fridge, which the fridge water, I will say, is probably 10 times worse than whatever came from the city.
Oh.
But, it was either fridge water or bottled water, and bottled water has always been, like, there. It's always been there.
Yeah.
Just sat there.
See, I think for me, it's like a cost and a sustainable thing. You know, like, you use less plastics if you're not buying bottled water, and also you're not spending more on bottled water because you tap.
Fair
and it's
enough.
included
That
in, like,
makes
your water bills, you know?
That makes me sound really fucking privileged.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's a less common thing here in the UK because, like, we like our tap water. Our tap water's reliable. Like, I think some of the I don't know this for sure because I've never been there, but I think it's called council juice or council juice. If you go to Scotland, they have some of the nicest tap water ever. People literally fill up bottles and bottles just to go home with it. Like, it's that good.
There's a place on the mountain here actually. That's interesting. I've never heard of Scotland having, like, the craziest tap water. I mean, I don't guess they would be really known for it, but, like, we have something similar here. There's a mountain runoff, or it's close to where I live now, and it's like water naturally running off the mountain, and it's like the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. We went there, got gallons of water before, and, like, as a kid, we would often go up there in the summertime, and I would never drink it because I thought, ew, water, gross.
Yeah.
Which I regret now so much because, like, the one time I did drink it, tasted like nothing. It was, like, hydrating, you know what I mean? Like, the refreshing feeling. So I kind of wish I would have done it more now that I'm an adult.
I will say, like, a good glass of satisfying water sometimes in a cold glass with a bit of ice, you just can't beat it on a hot summer's day.
Yes. I agree 1000%.
But no lemon. I'm not about that life.
Fair enough. Do you like cold water or, like, room temperature water?
Not room temperature. Slightly cool, preferably. Not, you know, like, room temp. Like, it's still a little bit cool. But not too cold because I have sensitive teeth. So I can't bite ice cream because it hurts.
Really?
Yep.
Growing up, I had sensitive teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could never bite in the ice cream. I can never bite in the ice cream. I can never drink straight up cold water. It always has to be at, like, a bottle that you could, like,
not put your teeth on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm chewing ice cream and, like, chugging down cold bottles of water. It's insane. My dentist told me, I think, when I was 12 that my teeth were really, really sensitive. Like, I think this was right before I got braces. They're like, your teeth are going to be super sensitive, and braces will help. They help with that, like, desensitize my teeth a little bit, I think. But then again, when it came down to it, I just I fought it for some reason. I was biting into things. It was like biting into the ice. Biting ice cubes is not good when you have braces. I just don't do it. But I was one of those.
Fight the pain tolerance. Get a cold tolerance up with your teeth.
Yeah.
But see, I don't think my braces helped my tolerance at all. My sensitive teeth. However, I can chew ice cream. I can only chew it on certain teeth. My molars, the only teeth that can touch something cold. If it touches any of these, instantly it's the reaction of and just pain.
So, like, I'm assuming you're, like, getting these, like, big pieces of ice cream off with, like, how would, I'm guessing it's rare then that you get to chew ice cream because
my tongue does the work. I got a strong tongue.
Yeah, we'll leave that there. Oh my god. We'll leave that there. You never just like bite into this.
No.
Just like, no?
No, I will break it off with my lip and my tongue. Or I will, like, I will do like a dig scoop where like I kind of just, if it's a cone of ice cream, I'll either just lick it or I'll like stick my tongue in it and like scoop a piece off with my tongue.
Yeah.
Almost using it as a spoon.
Actually, that's kind of how like dogs get water. Like they'll grab it up.
Yeah.
With the like last, it's. Have you ever seen that video of a dog drinking water in slow motion?
Yes,
That's
cool.
That's the creepiest thing.
It's so cool.
When I first saw it, like I never got it.
Drink like that.
I mean, huh?
I wish I could drink like that.
I tried it as a kid, and I'm not proud. Like just like going at water with your tongue, it makes no sense. And it's like, how do dogs get hydration from this? And you see the video, it's like they're grabbing it up with like the fold. It's like the fold of their tongue grabbing it, and it's like what?
It's not them just sticking their tongue in and absorbing it, which is what I used to think it was. I used to think they would just stick their tongue in and it would just absorb in.
Like have like a sponge tongue.
Yeah, they're just osmosis all the time.
It makes sense the way. I mean, not really, but like, have you ever seen a cat's tongue that it feels and looks like a sponge? Like you would imagine that sponge to feel like.
Apparently, it feels like sandpaper as well.
Ugh, I hate it. I've had a cat bite and scratch me before, and it is the most unpleasant. I've not had much luck with animals that I'm thinking about.
Cats don't like me. Cats don't seem
Really?
to like me. No, I don't know what it is, but they always just don't seem to vibe with me. They don't hate me, but they just don't like me. There are a couple cats. Like sometimes I'll walk past a cat on the street and they just seem to be very generous. So I'll just chill with that cat for a bit. Or the campus cat last year was very friendly, seemed to like me. But other than that,
Campus cat, like one cat for the entire campus, or like.
So he doesn't actually belong to the campus. He lives, his owners live in a house just off campus, but he's a street cat. He roams around. He's not like a house cat. So he just finds his way onto campus. He'll go into people's dorms, just chill. We had him in our like apartment building for a while. We kept him watered and stuff. Like, he's a cool dude. I miss Toby.
That's pretty cool.
He's quite sweet.
I like that. Because it's like a collective, like, big group of people looking out for, you know?
Yeah, because then, like, of a night, we would just let him out and he would go back home or he would do whatever he wanted to do. But then, like, sometimes he would, like, come to our front door and we'd let him in. And if it's a particular hot day, then I would just always run up, grab a extra bowl that I had, filled it up with water and just, you know, don't want a cat to get dehydrated. Not on my watch.
My mama would love you. Oh, she's a cat lady. She's a cat lady.
See, I'm not really a cat lady because cats don't like me. I don't mind cats, but they don't seem to like me. But then I'm also I'm not a dog person. I would love to be a dog person. I wish I was a dog person, and I think I would be if my damn phobia wouldn't get in the way. I have a phobia of dogs.
Fair enough. I've
had a lot of instances
one of the recent
of getting chased, and it doesn't help.
Yeah. Not fun.
No.
Not fun to be chased.
Not at all.
No. That instance moment, like where you, more recently this fall or this spring, I was chased by a couple of dogs, and like I was bent over grabbing something, and I looked to the side and I saw that dog's teeth, and my first instance was to dash. I did the dash, bro, and
See, but you realise that sets them off more, right? Because the run response then kicks in their, like, predatory instincts to chase.
Right, but this dog was already running at me.
Then, yeah.
So, yeah, like, when I turned up, I like I said, I looked up, and I saw that dog's teeth coming at me, and it's like, well, gotta go.
Time to flash.
I mean, they weren't, yeah.
Have you ever been bitten by a dog?
No, thankfully.
Me neither.
Have you?
No, I'm not around them long enough to find out.
Fair enough. We had a dog, however, I don't know if it's good to admit this, that once bit a cop. I don't know if I've told you about this.
I suppose it's who you ask on if it's bad or not, to be honest. In this day and age, some people will be like,
enough.
Go that dog.
I wasn't born at the time, however. It was like about 2 years before I was born. My parents had a dog. Actually, no, I was like 2 or 3. We had a dog. His name was Quincy. He was a Shih Tzu. And
it's always the little dogs.
Yeah, very, very little dog. And we just got him originally, and then he had a daughter with our neighbor's dog, and we got the daughter because nobody wanted her.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the dog became super defensive, and he would just start biting it. He started nipping at people. He bit my dad. Actually has a scar that goes down his face from where the dog bit him, and at that point, we had to move the dogs outside because I was a very young child. At that age, the dog could have killed me. So the dogs were put outside until they died a few years later. I mean, they had insulated houses and stuff, so they weren't mistreated. But, yeah, there was one instance where the dog had bit somebody, and the cop came down to like see what was happening while this dog was biting people, and in turn, the cop got bit. Thankfully, we didn't have to put him down. But
yeah, you have to be careful of stuff like that because they will just instantly be like, "Yeah, no, dog's gotta go."
See, the thing was, when I got chased this spring, no matter if I decided to press charges or not, because I had just turned 18, the dog would have got put down regardless. So it's very lucky for them that the dog didn't bite me. Also, for me, if the dog bit me, I wouldn't be walking. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's I won't say it's unfair because it's really kind of like this back and forth type of thing, but it is unfortunate because that's not their instinct as well. It's taught.
Exactly. Like I have a phobia. I've been scared of dogs pretty much my entire existence, and I don't know what it is. Right. There's no, unless I've trauma blocked it out or something. There's nothing to my knowledge that has happened to me that gives me a viable reason to fear dogs, because I have kind of grown up around dogs. My grandparents had dogs, aunts and uncles had dogs. Would I always kind of get panic attacks every time it was the first day of seeing them after a while? Yeah, because they would run around and jump and it would really set me off, and I would always have to sit on the sofa as far back as I could, legs up. I couldn't dangle my legs because I was worried what if they, I don't know,
Get you.
Even though I knew they wouldn't, but I was a kid at the time. But, I've gotten better at it because, obviously, I do want to eventually conquer it because, I do like dogs. And when I get to know a dog, then I don't have a problem. It is mostly just, dogs I don't know. Especially dogs off leash that I don't know. That's the worst thing for me. When I went to go get my vaccine, I'm going on a tangent about my own tangent. Bear with me, I'll get to it. When I went to go get my vaccine, I didn't know where I was going because it was a 2-mile walk away from my house, and I'd never been to that part of the city before. So I was letting Google Maps tell me where to go, and it tried to send me through a dog park. And there were 20 dogs off leash running around, and I took one look at it and I went, "There's another route. No. There is another route. I will make another route. I don't care.
Just go around.
Yeah, that is exactly what I did.
Skip a block.
That's exactly what I did. But I'm working on it slowly. I watch a lot of dog training videos because they do weirdly help understanding more about dog behavior and body language and making sure that I can communicate efficiently in a way to a dog where they understand. Because I can't say to them, "I'm scared, can you calm down please?" Because they're not going to get that. So if I just show that I'm disinterested, often one thing that used to really set me off is if I have to walk past a dog on the street and it was a side-by-side thing, because I was always just worried that they would try to sniff me because I didn't want the interaction. I was like, "I'm good, thanks." And instinctually, because I was afraid, I would look at the dog, which in sight makes it give me attention because it thinks I'm trying to have an interaction. If you just ignore, act like it doesn't exist, turn your back away, whatever you got to do, just basically act like it's not a thing. Don't look at it, don't talk to it, don't touch it, and it just won't even notice you're there. It won't care. Maybe it might come up and sniff you, but it will fuck off quick enough. And
definitely
that one rule of if you don't want it to bother you, just don't give it any attention, has helped so much, where I can just comfortably walk past a dog now in the street for the most part. Certain breeds still kind of set me off, but those are based on memories that I've had around that breed. This one time I got chased by a boxer and it was just not fun.
Yeah,
so
my
that's the
parents
one
had a
I'll
boxer,
avoid.
and it's not my parents, but my grandparents had a boxer, and in nature, they can be aggressive, so it's understandable.
So can any dog, though, but you just have to trust that the owners aren't complete delusional dipshits and actually know how to raise a dog. That's the one thing as well, as, you know, if it ever happens, touch wood it doesn't, obviously, because it'd set back all this hard work I've done, but if it ever happens and I get bit by a dog, it's not the dog's fault. Like, yeah, okay, the dog bit me, but, like, irresponsible owners that didn't train bite inhibition.
Right. I think training my dogs, I've had them for about 10 years, so it's been a very different process of training. My dad was bad about making one of my dogs very food possessive. And
like me.
I've worked hard to get it out of him, but it's just something he's
Tiny?
too old now, I think. No, Tiny.
Tiny.
The gray one. The gray one, yeah. He's very defensive like Quincy was.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah, he will, if I'm holding him and somebody tries to like pet him, he will like start to growl, he will like tense up. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's not something I did.
Right.
It's something that was put in him from my dad. Another story, another day. But like you're talking about earlier, disengaging a dog, it will like turn their interest down or whatever. So if our dogs are whining, yelling at them isn't going to help.
No.
So we just turn our back, just go on about what we're doing, and they'll calm down. We can console them. We can be like, it's all right.
Yeah.
We'll show them that whoever's around, they're not going to hurt us. And that's the right way to go about it. It's not yelling at them. There have been instances where like we have told them like shut up, lay down, but it's not like to the extreme like I've seen with some people. But like, I don't know. There are some dogs that people fear, and like, to be fair, I have only seen bad out of a Rottweiler, which is a very big and aggressive dog. But like, man.
See, for me, most of my horror stories of dogs come from small dogs. But funnily enough, or at least that's like the horror stories I've been told from other people have all come from small dogs, of like, you know, people that I know getting bit and stuff. However, my problem, like, I guess, is worse with big dogs. The bigger the breed, the worse I am. Because, like, this is going to sound really bad, and just know, I would never hurt a dog. I would never lay my hands on any sort of animal unless it was a life or death self-defense situation. Understandable, right? But, like, my thought process to, like, which means that I don't really have a problem with small dogs, is that I could punt it. Like, I could just boot it. I could kick it, you know? I could just lob it somewhere.
Like the Ice Age baby.
I could just lob it somewhere, you know? Like, it can't get me if I've chucked it. Whereas I can't do that with a big dog. Especially ones that are like my height. I'm short. I'm 5'4". So
no, there are some dogs that stand like 5'9", I think, 5'10".
Bro, Great Danes stand at like 6 feet.
Oh my god!
I think I don't know.
They
sound tall though.
Animal. Mm-hmm. Have you ever? I don't know if you ever lived in a place with stairs, but as a kid, I would always run up the stairs on 4 feet or four limbs. Yeah. There's actually somebody that can. It's not really an amazing human feat, but like, there's this one guy who can run like 25 miles an hour on 4 limbs. 25 miles. Like, I think he's on a treadmill going like 26 miles an hour.
Bro, that's like
just on 4 feet.
That's like
getting
fast.
It like a horse.
That's faster than a bike.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting it too. I saw it on TikTok. He's like a world record holder or something. Mans was getting it.
Damn.
Like, it always looked like a demon running up the stairs on 4 feet or whatever. Like, it. Looking back at it, that was probably not like the smartest point of evolution, but like, imagine going 26 miles an hour up the stairs. Like,
imagine going 26 miles per hour down the stairs on all fours.
All right, so I always had dreams of like, have you ever jumped from like the 4th stair to the bottom?
No, but I've fallen down the stairs loads.
I mean, yeah, that works too. I mean it more like, I as a kid, me and my sister would always jump off the 4th stair, the 3rd stair, like, boom, the big boom at the end. I had dreams of jumping from the top to the bottom and breaking my legs. It was the most, like, it's like the following dreams we talked about. You'd wake up at the end, however, in these dreams, I usually wouldn't wake up. I would, like, hit, I would land, and then, like, afterwards, like, oh, my legs are broken. It's like, oh, cool. And such a weird dream, such a weird feeling, like your stomach's dropping in your sleep. So, unfortunately, Heather's not feeling at the best right now, so we are going to cut this episode here. Join us next week as we finish up this 2-parter talking about some of the more, how would I put it, extreme feats?
Yeah, so next week we're talking about the real limits that our bodies can be pushed to, sometimes in the form of drug use, etc., etc. We'll probably dive into a couple more natural superpowers, and then we're going to look into, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Yeah, we will probably dive into how drugs can affect a person's body, drugs and the sports industry, and how drug use can affect sports tournaments and stuff like that, and just the extreme lengths that our bodies can go, basically.
Right. Again, if you've been following us throughout this journey, be sure to check out next week's episode, as it is our season finale. Thank you for watching or listening wherever you are. Be sure to check out our Spotify and our Twitter down in the description below, and we'll see you next week.